right, everyone. Good afternoon. This is your captain speaking. Buckle up. Get ready for takeoff. Today, we're flying into the territory of loneliness again. Yes. Now, a little about a month ago, I made an announcement that I was leaving the black pill to not put out any woe is me type of videos. True, I'm not here to put out woe is me type of video, but I need to address the black pill or the topic of loneliness because it's a huge epidemic. I mean, it's getting worse and worse. I was just talking to somebody, and I've been online too. I've been on YouTube and Reddit, and I've talked to somebody in real life and got to know this guy one-on-one. I won't tell you what his name is or where he works because I got to keep, maintain some privacy. So I may make a YouTube video, but I promised him I wouldn't give out his name where he worked, and that, you got to respect the guy's privacy. But I had an interesting conversation with this guy, and all I can tell you is he's in the Midwest. He works at a factory, and he is not happily married. Now, this is how the conversation started. The title of this video is, I'm tired of just existing. This is what this man told me. Now, I knew he was kind of feeling down and out. His body language kind of gave it away. And so I had I met him at Walmart. I was shopping one day at Walmart, and I'm kind of like my dad. Once I start a conversation, I tend to do this a lot, right? So we started a conversation, at least I did. And I said, well, what do you work? He said, I work at a local factory here in the Midwest. And I said, well, I just seemed kind of sad. Yeah, I've not been feeling well. He said, you know what, I'm tired of just existing. That's what he told me. His exact words to me was, I'm tired of just existing. Now, there's a difference between the people that say, I'm tired of existing, or especially when they say I'm just existing, or I'm tired of living. Now, the people that say they're tired of living, man, they want to end their life. And you really need to pray for those people. But this man was, I'm tired of existing. I'm tired of just existing. He wants to live. He doesn't want to just exist anymore. I said, well, what's going on, dude? I tried to give him a reason to live, a reason to be thankful. Remember that video I made sitting on my front porch? How we have much to live for, make a list. Got clothes on your back, roof over your head. That's what I started with. So I started with, I said, well, you have a job. Yeah, I've got a full-time job. It's becoming part-time because the factory is just figuring out a way to turn the employees into part-time employees. Yeah, they don't want to work anybody full-time. And the unions are dissolving, and he said, the job I have, I hate my job. But he's afraid of losing his job at the same time. Because he said they're making innovations where he's working. And the idea of having just a high school diploma isn't going to cut it anymore where he's working. He said the next 3 years you won't, matter of fact, sooner than that possibly, because they are innovating each department where he's working. And what's happening is this factory is deciding to upgrade, which means they're hiring engineers. Gone are the days of just having a high school diploma. So he talked about his work and how the company is upgrading everything just to stay competitive in the global market. And but at the same time, he said, my job sucks, but I have to have my job because I got a wife and 2 kids to support. Now, here's this man's story. I'm trying to do my best to tell his story. We'll call him Frank. That's not his real name, but we'll just call him Frank for the sake of the story. And He said, yeah. I said, well, let's see a wife and 2 kids. His wife is morbidly obese. So he said, there's other men out there, they have more beautiful wives than I do, and their wives and girlfriends are prettier, and they driving nicer cars, and he just went on. I said, well, maybe you should try to get healthy as well. If you want your wife to get in shape, you need to get in shape. I said, maybe it's something you guys can do together as a team. Make it a team effort. Because I guarantee it, if she decided to get healthy, get fit, and lose the weight, and he doesn't, she's going to leave him. That's a real phenomenon. Women get healthy, get fit, get better clothes, they're nicer looking. All of a sudden, they got more options. Just like that, they got more options. And that is a real thing. You can look that up online. Women lose weight. They tend to they leave the men behind. They don't change with them. So you guys need to do this together. You know, be her best friend. I said, you know, there's some truth to you and her not dressing well, not having confidence, why you're being passed up for economic opportunity. He feels like there's no economic opportunity for him. One of the reasons, it's like it's a cycle, and you can't get out of it. And he's like lost his confidence. And sometimes the best thing I can do is just listen to him. I did try to give him a little bit of advice, like Guinan on Star Trek. But sometimes the best thing you can do is just listen. Let him dump all his problems on you. He feels trapped in his job, trapped in his marriage, trapped in life. You ever feel that way? He says, I'm tired of just existing. I'm trying to think how to help this guy. And my best remedy was to make a list of everything to be grateful for. Well, this man's got those things, and he's not happy. He's got a wife. He's got a job. He's got a roof over his head. I said, I said, well, tell me more. Do you own your house? Do you rent? I said, I'm a renter. I said, what about your finances? Talk about your financial situation. Well, you know, we're barely getting by. I said, you get government assistance. You must. He said, we get some. But because of his job, nah. You didn't get as much as you would think. It's like I said, that there are people out there that need that government assistance that can't get it. Same reason that my wife was turned down. I had a job. It's funny. When you get a full-time job, you're punished. My wife lost all her benefits. The same was happening to this guy. I said, so you guys don't get food stamps. So we get very little. We depend on food banks. We have to go there. Food drives. Marshfield has food drives every once in a while. And so they're struggling. I said, I'm tired of just existing. I'm tired of just struggling just to get by. And I'm just listening. Now, sometimes the best thing I can do, like I said, is just listen. So I decided I'm just going to listen to this guy. I'll ask a few questions and just listen to him. The only solution I tried to offer is him and his wife, maybe they could get healthy, get in shape together. I didn't mention the part that she would leave him if he didn't. Yeah, I didn't want to hurt this man's feelings any more than he's already down. And so there are times there's a few things I'd like to say for his own good. But again, at the same time, I don't want to gaslight him. And so I decided to do the Guinan thing on Star Trek. Be the Elorian. Just listen. Be the bartender. That's what they do. Just let the man dump it. ask questions and let them talk. And this is what he was telling me. I said, well, how about your car? I said, what kind of car payments? He said, where'd you buy it? And I got it at this place in Springfield, Buy Here, Pay Here. I won't mention the name of the business because it's a scam, but I don't, Buy Here, Pay Here is a scam, right? Takes advantage of the poor. So he's feeling trapped. He's renting his house. He's got a car from a Buy Here, Pay Here. He's trapped financially, and he doesn't know what to do. And he can't hold his head in confidence like I can. And because he's just, you think a man's got it together. And he's got a wife and kids. He's working hard to provide for his family. He's got it together. Come to find out, he doesn't. Sometimes people you think have their shit together don't. They may envy you. The guy said, I said, well, I'm a widower, so I understand how you feel. My wife couldn't get benefits when we got married because I had a full-time job. And he said, yeah, we can't because I work. And she works. Yeah, she works too. They're both working. They're both working parents. And he says, I feel like I'm being passed up for economic opportunities. You probably, I wanted to say you probably are. The reason he's being passed up is because the way they dress and the way they look. I'm telling you that right now. I'm just being brutally honest here. Men are judged on how attractive their wives are. And considering she is morbidly obese and the way she dresses, the way he dresses, and he holds his head down, he has no confidence, his body language kind of gives it away. That's why he's passed up economic opportunity. And that's why life just doesn't seem to get better for him. In fact, it's spiraling down. And I don't know. I'm trying to figure out. I don't know how to help this guy. So comment below. What would you do in this situation? You got a wife you're no longer in love with. You love her, but it's like the spark is gone because you both let yourselves go physically. You don't even dress well anymore. You don't even try to dress sexy. So when was so how can you? Then that just kind of dies off. You've got a couple of kids and you got bills to pay and a job you hate, and now you're unhappy in your marriage. What do? This man feels like he's trapped. He got a car from the worst place you could buy a car because he had no other option. And here's something that I don't understand. And comment below. You say you can't afford to save $200 a month. Remember that waitress I showed you during the live stream event? How she spent her money on scratcher tickets? See, I don't understand how it is. You say, Jeremiah, I can't afford to save $200 and $300 a month. But I can come up with $100 a week car payments. I can't afford to save a couple hundred a month, but I can afford a $400, $500 a month car, if not more. You got it from a Buy Here, Pay Here, so he's paying for that car 3 times over. My friend Sandra, who I was dating, her relationship with me saved her $15,000. It's not a joke, because we drove her car to Lebanon and the transmission gave out because she was in a relationship with me and she was my buddy. She put $15,000 in her pocket because we taught her how to do this. We helped her find the car. She paid for it all on her own. We didn't pay for anything. She paid for everything on her own, but we did help her set it up. help her find the car. This is the car. This is where you need to go. $5,000 cash, it's yours. She walked in there, $5,000 plopped down on the table because we taught her to do that. That same car from a buy here, pay here place was $15,000. She got a Nissan. I forget. And she said, this is the nicest car I've ever owned. And we're still good friends today. I haven't spoken to her in a while. It's been over a year since I spoke to her. But yeah, she benefited. Yeah, by the time you figure out what she saved in finance charges and stuff, $15,000 easily. That car at the buy here, pay here was $15,000, not including all the finance charges, late fees. Oh my God. She paid $5,000 cash. She saved $15,000. This is how the rich get richer. They don't blow their money on lottery tickets. She put money in the bank every week. We taught her that when I first started dating her. I said, you might need it, especially with everything that was going on. It was like late 2020. I said, save your stimmy money. Save it, save it, save it, like I was doing. She started saving. She followed my advice. Save. Instead of buying lattes, instead of, buying crap like that waitress, that $20 a day she's spending on lottery tickets, a minimum of $20 a day, she could put in a savings account. That's hundreds of dollars a month, thousands of dollars a year. You could pay cash for a car just like that. The money that waitress spent on those lottery tickets in that live stream event I was showing you, yeah. So this man says, I feel trapped. I'm tired of just existing. There's a lot of Americans who feel that way. The guy that I gave a shout out to, I'm sure he feels that way. The guy whose medical situation, I gave him a platform, hundreds of views, and I think he eventually did get some help because he had his medical insurance cut. I'm sure he felt trapped with a teenage son to support. A lot of Americans feel trapped. I feel a sense of being trapped. But I try not to look at it that way. I try to look at it as, what do I have to be thankful for? This man, he was telling me a story. And I was like, oh shit. I just listened. There are times the best that you can do is the guiding approach. Listen. Just let them talk. That's the best therapy for them. Let them talk. Let them tell you their story. Ask a few questions, yes, like that's what I did. So I found out he was a renter, and here he got his car from a buy here, pay here. I said, oh my gosh. So I just listened and asked questions. I said, well, how about your kids? I asked him about his kids. How well are they doing at school? Not so good, he said. I think he said his kids suffer from loneliness and depression. So it's a family thing. It's not just him and his wife. His kids feel this way. I said, he's got one boy and one girl. I said, what kind of, do they do okay in school grade-wise? He said, nah, C's and D's. No A's, no B's. C's, D's, a couple F's, especially the son. I said, your son, did he do Cub Scouts? No, he didn't do the Cub Scout thing. Is he in any clubs, organizations in school? No. His son literally just comes home and plays video games. That sounds so typical of today's teenager, but he was telling me the story of his kids, and daughter's on some kind of medication, and it's like, wow, his wife's on meds, he's on meds, his daughter's on meds, his son not yet. So almost the entire family is on meds. So, oh gosh, he's feeling really trapped. He said, I want my life to be better. I'm tired of just existing. I want a better life. So I said, the best advice at the time I could give him, to start somewhere. You got to start somewhere. I said, if you want me to give advice, here it is. Take it or leave it. It's a start. You and your wife need to get healthy and get fit. And then start dressing better. And you're going to have more confidence. And things will look different for you. It's going to take some hard work and persistence. But at the time, that's the only advice I could give him. You and your wife need to do this as a team. As a family. As a family unit. You want to save your family. You all need to get healthy. This will help everybody in your family in the long run. It will. You got to start somewhere. Getting healthy, cut out the junk food as best you can. I know we live in a small town and all Walmart puts out is ultra processed food. So you can't really get away from it. But you can control it on some level. At least go for a walk. Start that. Cost you nothing. I told him, look, you and your family need to go for walks as a family. Do it as a family. Go for a walk. Walk around the block. Then it's 2 blocks. Then it's 3 blocks. Like Forrest Gump. Well, I came this far. Let's go to the next one. You need to baby step it. Just one thing at a time. Do that for a couple of months. Get healthier. Feel better about yourself. And I don't know, it should help with everything else. And so this video is kind of I know what I'm going to title it, but it's not about me. It's the other guy that I talked to. And I guess in a way, I am returning to the black pill. Because I lost a few subscribers when I announced I didn't want anything to do with it. And I said, you know what? But the problem's too big. And so I'm not going to be being a crybaby on camera. Not me, personally. I got to come across better than that. But the black pill, the loneliness epidemic still needs to be... Because I just watched another video about the dating epidemic, what's going on. I may put out a video about that and read a couple of comments, and it's, I don't know, it's amazing how people think. And I'm trying to figure out, I don't know. I feel like I'm repeating myself now. I'm just trying to think, is there anything else this guy said? Because I really tried to put myself in his shoes. Here we have a situation, he feels trapped. A lot of people feel this way. Everybody's situation's different. Everybody, you don't know what health crisis they're going through. They feel trapped because there are fixed incomes, and they have go nowhere jobs, and they can't see the ultimate outlook. I'm turning 58 2 weeks from tomorrow. And so I've lived a while, and there are times I feel out of time. That's another video. But this guy, comment below. What would you do if you were this guy? What is your situation? Maybe I'll feature it in an upcoming video. I won't give out your name. I'll just speak vaguely. This is the comments I got. This is what this person's going through. I want to hear your story. I won't give out your name on the air, but I still like to hear your story. I know I can pull these stories off Reddit. I can go to my neighborhood market over here. Well, I shouldn't say neighborhood market. My Walmart supercenter. It's not a neighborhood market. It's the regular Walmart store. and just run into people. And there's people in every aisle of that store. You could tell. The other day I was going to work and I knew there's this guy I saw and he had his head down. People don't hold their head up high anymore. I said, that guy is feeling really bad, really depressed. He's a delivery guy. He's delivering stuff to a convenience store. And I noticed, I paid attention for a couple of minutes. Seeing if he'd lift his head up high, walk upright. No, he didn't. He kept his head down. Body language says everything. This guy, oh my gosh. I watched him for at least a couple of minutes to see if he would change his body language. And he didn't. I thought, okay, he just got his head down. It's just for that moment, right? No, it was for the whole... Oh, man. And this guy who's in a situation with his kids and his wife, I said, so he's in a real bind. And I just don't know how to help him. Sometimes, like I said, just listen. Listen and ask questions and take an interest in them. And that's the best you can do. I did offer a little advice, just a little. Because I didn't want to leave him without saying something. So I did say something. Whether it impacted him or not, I don't know. I had to say something. I just did. And I don't know. Here, I'm rambling again. That's part of my brand, who I am. Everybody knows I'm a rambler. But I just want to get this video out there and share this man's story. And what's your story? Comment below. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. And because I'd like to pick up subscribers. I like to hit 7,000 subs by the end of summer. I can do it with your help. I can hit 7,000 subs. Possibly, at least by the end of summer. That's not an unrealistic goal. By the end of August, I want to hit 7,000 subs. That's realistic. And we'll be making more videos on this topic of loneliness from different angles, whether it's lonely men dating, lonely widows, widowers, you name it. There's so many stories out there, so at least once a week I'm going to pick up a story and talk to you about it, share it with you like I did today, and let's see if we can't get this conversation going. And so in a sense, I have returned to the black pill. Yeah, just not in the same way I did it in the past. That's all. I'm trying to figure out how to do it and do it in a positive way. How to help people. Make a difference. And so, sharing this man's story, man, I wouldn't know what to do. I don't know. I gave the only advice I knew how to give. It's a little... Get healthy, start going for walks, you and your entire family. And just get healthy. Anyway, it's hard to say au revoir, so a gratin. I'm getting ready to push the button. Here I go. It's really good, I promise you.